those shows. But let's get to our retro stuff. So we got maybe 20-30 minutes or something. Let's continue on our odyssey. We're finally at October 21st, 1996, WWF Raw. This is one that they've been fucking building towards for a while. There's a couple of things that have been building up till this show, which we'll get to in a second. But before I get to that, I just want to say, for anyone who's just joining us and doesn't know, that we've been reviewing WWF from 96 post SummerSlam. There's a link to the playlist in the description. But we also have done WCW from this exact period.
No, I remember
currently. So we've done this exact day, October 21st, 1995. So this is what WWF is going up against. So I think for our little review here that we're doing for the little 1 hour Raw, it's important to note that Macho Man is feuding with Hollywood Hogan and has threatened to murder him ahead of their match, Halloween Havoc. I think this was the go-home show for Halloween Havoc. So stiff competition they're going. And this is also Sting's debut in the white face paint. So his debut of his new gimmick with his little whatever emo depressed persona that becomes such a big giant storyline. This is literally the launching pad of that. Mm-hmm. But we're doing the other side. So WWF is not doing as well as WCW is. Hogan turned heel. Everything is rocking on all cylinders. WWF are kind of got some things going on, but not really. As we've discussed recently, they kind of been struggling with certain storylines. So I'm going to jump to some clips for you guys today. I did make a note, tell you guys that we didn't really have to. You didn't really have to prepare or anything to watch this show. We could just jump in and I'll show you a couple clips because this is a very short show, 1 hour long. And there's only a couple things that I want you to see. So I'll start with storyline number 1. So they've been advertising the return of Bret Hart, right, for weeks. And finally, JR has landed the return of Bret Hart, and here he is. Well, that's Tiffany Stratton. Sorry about that. Hold on 1 second.
It's Tiffy time.
Yes, sorry about that. Sorry.
Somewhere Charlotte is going crazy.
All right. So here's JR, and here he is. Bret Hart. Vlad, he's here. Can you believe it? For weeks. Is Bret Hart coming back? Is he going to retire? Oh, my God. So here's a fan. Here's a Hitman Hart fan. And I'm not going to play this promo, Robert, because it's really freaking long. It's so long. They let him talk forever. They would have been whatting him in this generation. Right, and the way he was talking, very slow. Like, people were interested. People wanted to know what he was going to say. Was he going to retire or whatever? So I have a text file here with some of the points he was making. Vlad, I don't know if you watched this today or did you? You did?
Well,
okay, interesting.
I did.
All right. So he said he got an offer from WCW, but he wants to stay in WWF, right? That's one thing that he talked about. He talked about Shawn Michaels, who I guess you might know more about this than I do, is the last loss Bret had before he left, right? So I guess he took a loss from Shawn and then disappeared, and we've been waiting to see if he'll retire or not after that, right? So, okay, so he talked about Shawn, said he still thinks he's better than him and all that. And then Stone Cold. Okay. I think this is the part where I'm going to start playing from, where he's going to talk about Stone Cold. Well, here's Stone Cold watching in the back. The WWF locker room is watching in the back. So this is a big momentous occasion. Actually, here's the first appearance that I see of The Rock, Rocky Maivia, just hanging out in the back. There he is on the left right there. You see him? I haven't seen him before this. This is the first Raw appearance I see. So... And here's Vince McMahon, also happy that Bret isn't going to retire from what he says. And then here's when he mentions Stone Cold, because we've been following this whole thing where Stone Cold's been running him down for weeks. So here's finally...
I think Richard Nixon said it best. You learn from defeat, and you come back and you beat him the next time. Which is why I've decided to accept the challenge of the best wrestler in the WWF today. And in the Survivor Series, I will face Stone Cold Steve Austin. I might be a little rusty, and maybe I won't be. But Steve Austin, I want you to know one thing. Madison Square Garden, it's not a church, but it's holy ground. And Steve Austin, Stone Cold, we'll see who kicks whose ass in Madison Square Garden.
Oh, there you go. So he immediately comes back and says, I'm going to accept the offer of who he thinks is the best wrestler in the world, Stone Cold. Damn. Thoughts on how that went down, Vlad? Well, there's a little bit more to the promo, but I'll talk about that in a second. But thoughts about the Stone Cold stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard Brett say before that when he was coming back in '96, he wanted to work with Steve Austin, who he thought was a tremendous in-ring performer, basically the best. Well, outside of Shawn Michaels, who, outside of Shawn Michaels, I think he thought Steve Austin was the best in-ring performer. So yeah, he wanted to work with them. He had interest. I think their styles mesh completely, and he knew that he would have an incredible match with them. And yeah, that's really what it came down to. And as far as him coming back and all that stuff, the promo that he cut, it was long, and they let him just talk, as you said. Brett is not one of the great promos in wrestling, so he really, his point, they could have cut this down, honestly. They could have told them, but I think they just felt so glad that he was coming back and didn't go to WCW. They're like, sure, Brett, you want 20 minutes? Take 20 minutes, man.
It seemed like 20 minutes, but it was 13 minutes, Robert, from what I've read. Okay. Somebody clocked this long-ass promo. Yeah, no, after he accepted the Stone Cold challenge, he talked for a while after that. He had like a story about his nephew dying of cancer. Yeah. And how if he promised his nephew if he would battle through it, that he would come back and wrestle again, but his nephew died anyways, but he still wants to come back and be like a hero to the kids. Oh my God, it was so long. I don't know. But okay. Whatever. It ate up a big chunk of the show. That's good for us. So we didn't have much to review today. But okay, Robert, your thoughts on how he just came back and immediately just answered the big elephant in the room, which was Stone Cold fucking running his ass down this whole time.
All right. Well, even in this short clip, he still said a lot more than Charlotte Flair said in SmackDown. I'm just kidding. That was good. I mean, that's what we wanted him to say, that he would end up facing Stone Cold. So cool. I mean, you already gave a summary of what else he said, but that's what the main thing I wanted to hear from him was, addressing the Stone Cold challenge.
Yeah, and then Stone Cold in the back watching, and he saw it as it happened. He didn't actually go out there, though, but he was attentively watching. So, good stuff. Good stuff. I'll give it a thumbs up, Vlad. Even though it was kind of long and boring promo, I'll still give it a thumbs up. But do you want to give that promo a rating, since you said you saw it today, the whole thing?
Yeah, I didn't rate this show, right? Or I didn't send a rating.
No, yeah, you didn't. So I could add it for you or take it right here.
The whole promo, I would give it a half thumbs up, probably.
Half thumbs up. All right, moving along. I'll gloss over a couple other storylines because we have a main storyline which is supposed to be Triple H and Mr. Perfect that we've been waiting to get to. But I'll just mention, for completeness sake, the two other angles. There was only two other angles, Robert, on this whole show. And that other angle, one of them is the Psycho Sid thing, where he's hold on, let me pull this up on the screen for the people to see. So he's in a feud, I guess, where he's going to face Shawn Michaels for Survivor Series for the world title. So he's going to face today Owen Hart. So this was before Brett made his big speech. So they opened the show with Brett's brother coming out. So they were trying to kind of hint at that, I guess, tease that a little bit in a way. But okay, so Owen couldn't really put up a fight here. British Bulldog came up to interfere, and I think once they saw that Owen was going to lose, once he looked like he was going to get powerbombed, Bulldog just came in and ruined the match, just ransacked the match, DQ. A lot of finishes like this back in the days. It used to be more embarrassing. It's more embarrassing now, I think, to just attack someone in front of the ref. But okay, they called for the DQ, and then Shawn Michaels comes out to fight with Sid. So Shawn Michaels runs out there, and I think they clean house. They send the Bulldog and Owen Hart running, and then Sid and Shawn Michaels, they seem to be friendly, right? Even though they're going to face each other for that WWF title, they kind of got a friendly relationship where they kind of watch each other's back, it seems, in a couple of recent angles. So, okay, I don't know how I feel about that. Just good guy. This is like a good guy versus good guy matchup, right, Vlad? Good guy versus good guy rivalry for a world title, for a WWF title. So, I don't know. You got any comments on that or no?
Well, I'll say that I think with Sid specifically, he was super over, and I think a lot of people were kind of sick of Shawn Michaels at this point, honestly, as a face. So, yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say about that, and I think that really leads to what makes, what happens in Survivor Series, and, which we will cover at some point.
Yes. All right, so real quick, the only other thing that happened was really not very consequential, but I guess I'll just say that I like the finish of this Smoking Guns versus Godwin's match, where they just throw Bart Gunn into the ropes and he runs into his tag team partner. I don't know if I've ever really seen this, but I'll just play it real quick how it happened. This is the Godwins versus Smoking Guns.
Action for the Godwins if we're not careful. Here we go. Yeah. Look out here,
and then that was it. Billy's out of the ring, and Bart Gunn loses on his own. And then Billy Gunn is all disappointed. I don't know. I just thought they did that really well. I don't know why I've never seen that before, but I just thought it was funny how he just ran into it, and Billy Gunn just like flies off the ring apron. I'll play it again.
Here we go. Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, so this is going to lead to the dissolution of the Smoking Guns, who haven't been able to get it together. And
yeah.
So Billy Gunn's going to go off and do his own thing. It seems like they're going to break up. All right, so I'm going to move on to the last storyline of the day, and this is the last thing we're going to talk about today. It's the whole Mr. Perfect versus Triple H. Yes, so I am keeping the screen that the audience is seeing. The audience sees the result right here, but I'm keeping that away from Robert because I want to get his first time reaction to this. So here's a backstage where Mr. Perfect is getting ready for the match with Triple H. So he's stretching, and this is his big match. This is his big comeback match. So here he is stretching out in the back. I'm going to hit play. This is watch along mode.
He's been warming up right there. He is. Wait a minute. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Look what he did. Helmsley. I can't believe this. Perfect is injured. Look at this. Oliver yet to come. I mean, there's in next.
All right. So Robert, Triple H attacked Mr. Perfect in the back, and then this was before the Bret Hart interview, and then later in the night, the main event, Triple H is coming out for his match, and out comes Mr. Perfect, but he looks hurt, and here comes with Mark Miro and Sable, so I'll play this in-ring segment, and then I'll play one more clip after that.
Coming down with the wild man, Mark Miro, as well as Sable and Mr. Perfect. Gorilla Monsoon as well. I think Hunter Hearst Helmsley can handle all of them. look in the eyes of Mr. Perfect. Perfect seems to be hobbling just a bit. We can bet that when Hunter rammed that rolling case into, I guess, his knee, I'm sure it raised his ire somewhat. Mr. Perfect likely to take Hunter Hearst Helmsley apart if he can. And the wild man Mark Merrill credits much of his success to the advice given to him by his newfound friend. What's Monsoon getting in the ring for? I don't know, but Jim Ross here to get to the bottom of this, JR.
I'll handle this, big man. Let me take care of some business here. What's going on?
What do you mean, what's going on? Everybody saw what you did, Helmsley. You think you pulled a big one off? You run the card into the back of my leg. Now I got Gorilla Monsoon out here talking to the doctors in the back, telling me I can't wrestle you tonight. You think you pulled it off?
Based on what the doctor has told me, I'm not allowing Mr. Perfect to wrestle here tonight.
Wait a minute.
Because he's a chicken. You got no guts, Perfect?
I'm not allowing him to wrestle here tonight, period.
Then one of the
I'll
presidents...
tell you what I've done, Helmsley. Mark Merrow, the stand-up kind of guy that he is, and the information that I gave him that brought him the Intercontinental Championship, the stand-up guy offered to wrestle you in my place.
Huh? Look, I don't have any contract to wrestle him. I'm under no obligation. I want him. I'm under no obligation to wrestle him, Monsoon.
That's right. That's exactly correct. You are not obligated. Your contract to wrestle this gentleman. He is not wrestling here tonight, so you can leave if you like.
Wait a minute. You don't have the guts to wrestle Merrill? No, you'd wrestle him, right? No problem. Merrill will wrestle you.
I'll tell you what. The only way I'll wrestle him is if he puts that on the line. Put the Intercontinental title on the line and let's do it.
He'll do that in a heartbeat. I mean, what kind of champion are you? Show him what kind of champion. Of course he'll wrestle you.
Wait a minute, it's up to Gorilla Monsoon.
You know,
It's
Mr.
not-
Perfect, you helped me out to win the Intercontinental belt. I'm going to return the favor. Let's get it on!
Hell yeah, wow,
Gorilla
man.
Monsoon giving
That's
his
a baby
permission.
face right there.
You cannot sanction this match. Only I can sanction an Intercontinental title match.
Are you saying he can't wrestle?
I'm saying if he agrees to put the title on the line, and you agree to accept the match, I will officially make it.
If the belt's on the line, I agree.
The match is made. Let's do it.
Ah, yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Intercontinental title up for grabs. The wild man, Mark Merrill.
All right, so instead of Triple H versus Mr. Perfect, we get Triple H versus Mark Merrill with Sable for the Intercontinental Championship. Interesting. All right, so I'm going to skip forward into the match, Robert, and Mr. Perfect is on commentary, but I'm going to skip to the finish. So here we go.
Reversing, no, here we go. No. Look out. Oh, no.
Ref bump. There goes the
Oh,
ref.
I gotta go see if Merrill. Come on, Merrill.
Robert's seen a lot of these ref bumps.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna interfere.
I actually remember this.
You don't or you do?
I do.
Oh, you do. Okay.
Oh, he does remember this.
They just grab the chair.
Interesting. Well, let's just play it out anyways. Here comes Triple H with the steel chair. Sable,
The chair, the officials down.
Sable, who I never see do anything. She's going to try to grab the steel chair from
Grab the chair.
Triple H.
Wait a minute.
And here comes Perfect, who takes it away from Triple H. Aiming it at Triple H. Why? Why, Perfect? Why? What did Mark Merrill do to you? And here goes Sable actually like doing some acting and worrying about her husband. It's the most I've seen her act. This is like my acting reel for Sable. It would be this, her highlight reel.
Just leveled the wild man.
Well,
And Sable's
Well, there you go. Pedigree. And Triple H wins. And Perfect is in there and he's walking just fine. And he just helped Triple H win the title. So this whole thing about him stealing Triple H's girl, it was all a work the whole time to get people to think that they were not liking each other so they could win the Intercontinental title for Triple H, I guess. Okay, so my rating for this, I rated this because I watched it on my review. Says I got 2 thumbs down. This is a disaster. This is horrible, especially considering how hot WCW are, how perfect their booking was going into their Halloween Havoc pay-per-view, and then this is what they come out with after Buried Alive. No continuation of Undertaker Mankind. There was like a video package, but nothing really for a storyline. All right, let me see what I want to do with this. Robert, since this this was supposed to be a fresh watch, but while you're watching it, you said you got flashbacks to actually having seen it.
I remember this.
Okay, so what did you think of it? What do you think of it now that we've seen this whole story play out before our eyes?
That was a perfect heel turn.
Oh God!
No, I was kidding.
That's how we got.
I don't know if maybe I'd give it a 1 thumbs down. It just doesn't make sense. Like this whole build up to this segment was all a ruse to get Triple H the title. I don't know. It's a bit nonsensical, so I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more than I don't like it. I think this is disastrous compared to how well the storyline's going on the other channel, and they did this. And Vlad, you said when you first saw them, we reviewed the first angle where Perfect steals Triple H's girl, and you said, I watched this era, and I don't think this goes anywhere. Like, I remember that this doesn't, but it totally went somewhere. This was a total angle.
Halfway through, I did remember where it ended up. So
they completed the storyline, and this is where it ended up. So, all right, your thoughts as a wrestling analyst.
Well, there's a lot of things here that were really bad, obviously. One, I never really understood, because I don't know, I remember even as a kid watching this, why Perfect and Mark Mero had this they didn't have this mentor relationship. It was weird. As soon as Mero won the title, he was like, "Oh, I owe it all to Perfect." Like, where did I remember thinking, I've never seen them together before until he won the title. So how do you owe it to Perfect? Okay, that part never made sense to me. And then basically they've been wasting weeks, months of Perfect stealing these women, quote unquote, from Triple H.
And that was all bullshit. That was trying to make him look cool. I was like, man, this guy's perfect. These women just want to go with him. And that was all just a fucking ruse the whole time. Man,
it was just a ruse to win IC title. I mean, it's kind of I know this was way before Russo I was looking, but it feels like a Vince Russo swerve type of deal where it just kind of comes out of nowhere and doesn't really make a lot of sense. That's what I got out of that. So yeah, I would give it probably either a 2 thumbs down or 1. I don't know what's really fair. I guess I would give it a 2 thumbs down. Honestly, yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was such a long swerve for such a stupid thing to win Triple H the title. Why don't you win yourself the title? Like, why are you helping Triple? Where does this friendship come from? I don't know. I guess maybe we'll find out in the next episode. But okay, Robert, did you give a rating on this? Sorry, I was listening.
I said 1 thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Thumbs down. All right then. Cool. That'll conclude our show for the day.